Cool Nation, Maven TV, aka Me TV, aka the Painkiller. And I put like this, I have to explain this because you have to understand. For the previous 2 weeks, Phillies fans are still upset over Shane Victorino and Hunter Pence being traded. Now we know as of late that Joe Blanton has been traded to the Dodgers as well. So as you can see, the Dodgers are trying to make a run, and there's no problem with that. I understand, this is going to come down to the Giants, the Dodgers, and possibly, I'll say, Arizona, because you know how they like to do at the end of the season, how they try to make a run to take the West. So out of those 3 teams, that's pretty much it, what's going on. But I will talk about this a little bit more, because you have to understand, guys, because I want to say congratulations to Hunter Pence. Not too long ago, he hit a home run for San Francisco. Congratulations, last night, Shane Victorino hits a home run for the Dodgers to beat the Pirates. I mean, this is what it's coming down to. And Phillies fans are still, dare I say, salty over this. They're still mad about these trades. You have to understand that, guys. And I also want to point this. Where are all those Phillies fans that said that Cole Hamels shouldn't get his money? I'm just wondering, because Cole Hamels put up a shutout, consecutive shutouts last night. That's what I'm talking about. See, they said there's a lot of Philly fans love to talk about sports and don't know what the hell they're talking about as far as I'm concerned. But you know what? It's okay. I want to get back on you Philly fans for a minute. I understand your pain. Like I said, I was upset too when they left. But now that you're starting to come out with music videos, the pain is starting to show exactly how much passion this city has for their players.
A single she would go from first to third. Told myself that you were both such beasts, always trying to win the NL East. But now they're gone and I just feel a little silly. You're a giant and a Dodger now. You packed your suitcase and you're headed out to California.
I'm just saying, Phillies fans, I understand it hurts, but you know what? Now the rumor is that Amaro wants to go and get Josh Hamilton. Whoa, did you not learn from this situation? Look, those trades told us that we cannot afford big-time contracts, and now you want to go out and get another big-time contract? No, it's not going to work, because I put it like this. Josh Hamilton is a great player, but there is no way that you can do. We're going to get him again, give away more prospects? Is that what you're going to do? And if it doesn't work, blow up the team again? Stop this. You have to do business the right way. That's what it comes down to. You cannot start picking and choosing people like it's Madden. You can't do that. And I'm going to talk about that later, because we've seen that with the Eagles last year. I'm going to talk about the Eagles a little bit later, all right? But first, I have to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers and Andrew Bynum. Now, look, I've seen a lot of videos. I know a lot of people are happy. LA fans is happy. Orlando fans, they get a lot of stuff in this deal. You know what I mean? I understand this, all right? But Sixers fans, you got to calm down. I do not understand you right now, because you're sitting here, we got Bynum, and the first thing out of your mouth is, we go with the championship. We go not going to no championship. This just opens the gates. Don't you understand that? This opens the gates for potential all-stars or perennial all-stars to come in later. It's going to at least take us 2 more years. All right? And if you think going to the championship, did you not see the Lakers roster? Did you not see the Heat's roster? Did you not see Boston's roster? I mean, do you understand? You still got OKC. You have all these other teams, the Spurs. You have to understand there are a lot of stacked teams out there. We are not in that equation yet. I do have a problem with Andrew Bynum only, and this is the only thing. I'm welcoming him to come here because we need that half-court presence. Last year, we didn't have a half-court. We had a full transition. What I have a problem with Bynum is that we knew, and you can ask Lakers fans, there was times Kobe even called him out and was like, he's lazy. He's not doing his part. He's not running. I have a problem with him being able to run in transition with our team. Our team is fast as hell when it comes to running in transition. We already know this. But in half-court set, we are non-existent. How many times did we see last season where it said the Sixers haven't scored in 2, 3, 4 minutes in a game because they have no half-court? That's what it came down to. All right, so you have to understand, I am definitely looking forward to Bynum being down low because it gives us a presence now. We have an identity. That's what it comes down to. The surgery, like I said, if he can stay healthy, I'm okay with it. And it depends on exactly what Collins does with him coaching-wise. I mean, sometimes he won't be with the number 1 guys. You know what I mean? He may come off the bench with the number 2 guys and give him that energy spark. We don't know how Collins is going to coach this guy yet. We don't know yet. So I feel like Kwame Brown, don't even get me started with this guy. I don't even know why he's on the team. But you know what? I'm happy that Bynum's here. And Jay Rich, bruh, welcome to the team. This is what I'm talking about. It opens the gate. This is not about the Sixers going to the championship. We will not. Okay? Especially with all these other teams going around. This is just the start of something that could be good. Let's just wait and see how the season is. Do not expect a championship run next season. I'm calling it now. You understand that? But Orlando fans got a lot out of the deal, which is cool. LA fans, they got Dwight Howard. And you know what? I understand LA fans are happy, but I'm also upset that Dwight Howard is getting rewarded for the way that he has acted. All right? This guy acted, and you thought LeBron was bad. This guy is worse. He has done this absolutely just horrible. And the fact is now he's being rewarded for the way he has acted in the previous season or so. Guys, I have a problem with that. But I understand why LA Lakers fans are happy. I understand that, all right? But I do want to talk about Iguodala because I have to ask, where are all those Phillies fans now? I'm talking about Twitter. I told you guys before, Twitter is like the carnival of stupidity when it comes to, I've said this before, when it comes to, sports. So my question is, all those people that said, I'm happy that Andre Iguodala wasn't traded, that the Sixers want to keep him. What's wrong with you? I told you it was going to happen. They tried to trade this guy during the draft. All right? You understand that? And they tried to get him for Rudy Gay, but people didn't want to take that contract. You have to understand that Andre Iguodala is, because everyone say, oh, he's Olympian now. He didn't do anything in the Olympics. Nothing. All right? But understand, he is a role player. That's what he is. He's a role player with a superstar salary. That's what it comes down to. And that's what killed us. That salary. And that's a front office problem. That's not Andre's problem. I don't have a problem in taking that money because if someone gave me that money, I'd take it too. I understand why he took it. All right? But that's a front office problem. They could not afford him anymore. They had to get rid of him. Not to mention that he's not that good. All right? But for some reason in Denver, I don't know how you Denver fans feel, but George Karl, he wants to praise Andre Iguodala.
Here's Denver coach George Karl with his take on the deal.
I think Andre, the last 2 years, taken a very under-talented Philadelphia basketball team to the playoffs and played very well in the playoffs. It was very impressive to me. And we just think it's a move that helps us. It might also help the Lakers. It might also help Philadelphia. It seems like it's going to philosophically please Orlando.
Okay, George Karl, but what about the first 7 years that Andre Iguodala was here? See, that's the problem with people. They don't look at the total body of work. Are you going to tell me it took him 9 years to develop? Is that what you're in the pros? Is that what you're going to tell me? Look, George Karl, you need to keep your mouth shut. You had at one point almost damn near an all-star team with Denver, and you still couldn't get the job done. And what did you do? You started blaming players left and right instead of looking at yourself. And I know a lot of people are going to say, but George Karl's the most winningest coach. No, let's get something straight, all right? He only did it, he only became the winningest coach because Lenny Wilkens retired. Lenny Wilkens didn't coach after 2005. All right? He was the most winningest coach. Are you going to tell me if Lenny Wilkens was still coaching today that George Karl would have beat him? Hell no. All right? So I don't want to hear that George Karl is that great of a coach. You cannot have that type of roster and still lose. You can't. All right? I'm not trying to hear it. And the Denver fans, they know what I'm talking about. All right? So I'm not trying to hear that. Anyways, I want to move on to football. All right? I need to talk Eagles real quick. First off, I want to say, Where's all the Eagles fans that when the Eagles were losing in the preseason against the Steelers, they were like, well, it's only preseason, you shouldn't care. Why shouldn't you care? You do realize that these players, there's players on that team who are fighting hard for a spot. You tell those players that preseason doesn't matter. Preseason matters, especially when you have injuries and carrying on. This is how you check out your team. If you don't believe that preseason is serious, I mean, you can ask Tom Brady, you can ask Terrell Davis. Both of them have said if it wasn't for preseason, they'd have never been known. So preseason matters. I'm getting real sick and tired of fans, and the same fans that said I don't care that the Eagles are losing when the Eagles won. Because what did I say to you guys on Twitter? I said in the first half, I said don't worry about it. I said they have time to make adjustments in the second half and win this game. And what happened? They won. All of a sudden, those Eagles fans come back. Look, it's the first game of the preseason. You already jumping ship. What's wrong with you? You have to chill. Chill. All right? First game of the preseason. I understand your passion, but you have to calm down. Stop making yourself look like a bunch of idiots online. Seriously, all right? Now I want to talk about the game. Because, first off, you got the starters out there, or, who weren't injured, I'll say. Yeah, you, Jason Babin. Yeah, Mr. Adonis. Yeah. Anyways, first quarter, Eagles defense are on the field for almost the entire first quarter, which makes no sense to me. Because I told you guys on Twitter what? I said I'm not worried about certain players. I want to see, my entire point watching this game was to see how Juan Castillo coached this team defensively. That's what my big problem was, all right? Because we saw how things were last year, and what did I say? Those last couple of games were a fluke. They were, when it came to, they were doing good. Pretty much the Eagles picked up where they left off last year, all right? And it wasn't that good. First quarter, defense is pretty much on the field till about 5 minutes and 23 seconds at the end of the first quarter. That's right, they're on the field the entire time. Way too long. There was times where, as usual, they're not wrapping and tackling. They're too busy worried about the big hit. Stop trying to show off and just tackle somebody. That's all you have to do. It's common sense. But you're still playing this little game. I don't get it. I really don't. But here's the thing also. There was times where the playmaking didn't make sense. And an example, all right? There was one time where the Steelers were 3rd and 11. 3rd and 11. Juan Castillo dials up a blitz. I don't understand this. Why are you dialing up a blitz on 3rd and 11 and giving up your secondary? That makes no sense. You play back, all right? You play to the line of scrimmage and that's it. If they try to go for the first down, you're going to stop them before that, all right? And what happened? You dialed up a blitz and the Steelers torched us on it, all right? It made no sense. Offense, got to talk about this real quick. Wide receiver 10, didn't have a problem with him. I didn't have a problem with his interview. I did like the fact that after he caught that one ball and he's trying to get up, and the guy from the Steelers is still holding his leg, and then when he finally gets up, he pushes him in his face. He did the right thing, because if he didn't do that, guess what? That means every other person who tries to tackle him, they're going to do it to him too. You have to understand in football, when you do something like that, or you stand over somebody, or you tackle somebody and you really don't want them to get up, they're trying to bully you. If you've never played football, you have to understand that. They're trying to establish dominance on you. They want to see how far they can push you. That's what it comes down to. He did the right thing, so I don't have a problem with that. I will say on offense, once again, Michael Vick gets hurt, as we saw. Everyone's holding their breath because he hits his hand on Kelsey's helmet. We saw this with Tony Romo, so we know how this goes. So everyone's like, I wonder if Vic's hurt. Then we turn around and we found out that Kafka's hurt. His hand's hurt. All right? I don't understand this. Foles, got to give him some credit. Look, Nick Foles, that's his name, right? Nick Foles. I'll put it like this. This kid can throw the ball, and I like to see this. And I want to see more of this kid, because in big-time situations and times that we need to throw down the field, this kid wasn't scared to throw down the field. You also have to understand it also comes down to coaching and if Andy's going to let him throw. We saw this with Kevin Colbert. He wouldn't let him throw for a long time. All right, 5-yard passes. All right, but there were routes where Colbert just got comfortable in throwing 5-yard passes. And don't get me started on Kevin Colbert, all right? Because he got hurt already. All right, ribs. And if anyone saw that tackle, as we all know, he was not hurt. All right, guy pushed him down. Oh, my ribs. I'm not trying to hear that. All right, and you guys told me on Twitter. What'd you say? Offense looks a lot different without Kevin Kolb in there, with a different quarterback in there. I'm just saying, he almost lost his job not too long ago because they thought Peyton Manning was going to come there, all right, and they weren't going to give him his money. And then they had to give him his money. Now we found out that during the preseason, before, during training camp, that it was going to be a QB battle. There was no number one. So now it's a whole big thing with Kevin Kolb. So he may still lose his job. We don't know, all right? Was it Skelton? So we don't know. But I want to go back to the Eagles, all right? Because you have to understand, now that we've seen all these injuries, and don't get me wrong, Trent Edwards was good. And when I'm sitting here watching the game with my friends, I'm sitting here thinking, we got 4, and I said this guy before you guys, we've got 4 quarterbacks on the depth chart. Somebody has to go. But now that we're seeing all these injuries, we may use all 4 quarterbacks. You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy, man. You know what? I'm strapping myself in, and I'm getting ready for the ride, because I want to see how this plays out. I really do. The Eagles did a great job when it came down to the second half of neutralizing Pittsburgh and winning this game. It showed heart. It showed those players want to play. All right, and Nnamdi came out in the first half and said, and this is what really baffled a lot of us on Twitter. He comes out and says, we came out, we were just too excited. We weren't making plays. Why don't you wait till the second game? Because the second game is really going to dictate what this team is for the rest of the season. Really? So you're banking on the second game of the preseason to say that for the rest of the season? There's a problem with that, Nnamdi, and we all know Nnamdi just got knocked out not too long ago. Maybe it helped his thought process a little, but I'll put it like this. There's no way, especially we're going against the Patriots, yeah, bring them on, all right? You have to understand that preseason is a big deal. It really is, due to the fact that there's people like Tom Brady and Terrell Davis that will have never been known if it wasn't for preseason. You have to take preseason seriously, man. Have to. All right, we got the Patriots on Monday, and I'm pissed off because I thought they were going to play this week. You have to keep it consistent because now you play the Patriots on Monday, and then you got to turn around 4 days later and play another team. That's not good. It's not good at all. But I do want to talk about the refs real quick because you have to understand these replacement referees are hilarious. For those who have not seen what has been going on, Raiders was at Dallas last night. Tony Romo is calling, spots because the refs are putting the spots in the wrong places. He's like, yo, we're supposed to be back here. And he's like, you're right. And he brings the ball back there. Like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, these refs, did you see the ESPN, what they had said when their Come On Man segment? It was all about the refs, all right? The one guy was during the punt, he holds on to the ball and he goes to the 4-yard line. What does the ref do afterwards? Takes the ball and puts it on the 20. It makes no sense. These referees, and don't expect a lot of pass interference calls to be called this year, all right? Don't expect it. These referees, I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of fan bases. If these replacement referees stay in throughout the entire season, there's going to be a lot of fan bases who are going to be pissed off because they're going to get screwed on calls. I'm telling you now, it's going to be a bad thing. This can make the NFL look really bad as far as I'm concerned. But it's fine. Anyways, I want to move on, and I want to talk about one Chad Johnson. Now, I know a lot of you guys know he was arrested and everything, and what happened. He was headbutting women and carrying on. I'll get into that in a minute, all right? But I want you guys to understand exactly why this relationship between him and his wife, they've been married for, 37 days? All right? I think she just beat Kim Kardashian's record. But you have to understand why a lot of us felt this marriage would not even see the light of day when it came to actually being happy. So let's check that out.
You know, I'm a first date with that McDonald's.
I know that. McDonald's is a special place. Now, did you guys meet in the drive-thru?
No, we didn't meet in the drive-thru. We actually met on Twitter. And he was being his dickhead self.
Cursing her out, thinking everything I could call her without saying the B word.
And then hate turned into love.
Sure.
And also, I was playing FIFA, and I paused the game for her in FIFA and Call of Duty. And if you pause Call of Duty for somebody, that's the fucking one.
Really, Chad? You gotta check your priorities, bruh. You really do. But it goes to show you, if you're already starting to fight like cats and dogs, it's going to be an unhealthy relationship, all right? But that's not all of it. You have to understand, guys, that what he says next, even though he's joking, is really weird. It's really weird that they put this on HBO.
Hey, Stu, I promise I'm getting arrested while we're off. Hey, call me. I'll come get you. Appreciate it. What?
The truth is said in jest. It really is. Now, I want to talk about this a little bit because for those who don't know, Chad's wife has a history of doing this with other men. She does. You found a condom, a receipt in the condom. First off, who keeps receipts to condoms? I don't know. We're going to take it back if it doesn't work. What are you going to do here? I mean, you know what? But I'll put it like this. He found a receipt, and then she says it's not his. Then they get into an argument or whatever, and then he headbutts her. All right, even was on Twitter. The tag was it's Ocho that hoe. Now, that's what it comes down to. You Ocho that hoe. You headbutt her. Now he says that it was, that it was, an accident, and she says it was purpose. Now understand this, guys. When something like this happens, Chad played himself. All right, Chad had all the cards in his hand, and he didn't handle the situation right. So he's the only person to blame for this, as far as I'm concerned. All right, after he found out that receipt, and she said I didn't or whatever, he should have, walked away. I'm pretty much filed for a divorce, if you ask me, because I put it like this. If you file for a divorce and you find out that your significant other is cheating, you don't have to pay her. I'm sure that Chad wasn't smart enough to get a prenup, so you don't have to pay her. She's the adulterer. You understand it, right? The ball is in your court, but you didn't do that. No, you went this route, and this I'll put it like this. you hesitated on what to do the right thing. She didn't hesitate because the first thing she screamed was, you hit her. That was the first thing she screamed, all right? Now, I haven't seen any of the pictures. I don't know. Is it possible he hit her? Yes, it's possible. I haven't seen any of the pictures, so I don't know what her forehead looks like since he headbutted her. I don't know, all right? But she was clearly doing something she had no business doing. And that's the thing. And he says, well, she was shutting me out during during the season. It was cobweb. She wouldn't give me no sex. Now you know why, bruh. Because she was getting it somewhere else. That's why. Don't you understand that? But you know what? That's on Chad. And because of that, the Miami Dolphins have released him. She pretty much hurt him. And this is what happens when you don't have your head on straight. Now, I hope wide receiver 10 is paying attention. Because remember, he wanted to be like Chad and Owens. And look where they at now. Look where they at now. Owens just was with the Seahawks. Chad he has no job. I'm sure somebody will pick him up down the line. Somebody will. Because somebody's going to need a receiver after looking at preseason. Somebody's going to need one. All right? But you have to know what's taking place so long to sign with somebody, especially us. I'm just saying. But you know what? Doesn't matter. You have to understand that these are the reasons why you have to be smart. All right, you have to. You have to play it with a cool head. I understand emotions are going to flow, but Chad, you're messing up. And speaking of emotions, I have to talk about this from the heart. All right, because the Olympics, the NBC, you have made this one of the worst Olympics possible. One of the worst. And I'm going to talk about this a little more, but first, I want to show you how athletes in the Olympics, how they just take spots even though they know they're not 100%, and they could have given it to someone else who actually deserved it in races. That's right, track and field we talking. It makes no sense on how this has happened, and it's a disrespect, if you ask me, to athletes everywhere. But you know what? I'll let you be the judge and watch one LaShawn Merritt run this race.
And up next will be the reigning Olympic champion from the United States, LaShawn Merritt, who has the 2 fastest times in the world this year. Though he did pull up in his last race in Monaco on July 20th. This is a comeback, of course, for LaShawn Merritt, who tested positive for an anabolic steroid, which he said he consumed unknowingly in an over-the-counter male enhancement product.
Whoa, male enhancement product? You know what? That's too easy to comment on. Let's just keep going.
He became eligible to compete again in June of last year. And at this time last year, he didn't really know if he'd be cleared for the Olympics or not, but he was later cleared to run in the Olympic Games. And here he is to defend the Olympic championship he won in Beijing in 2008.
Tom, I think we'll learn a lot about that left leg. He has a strained hamstring, and that was suffered at the Monaco Diamond League meet. That was his last meeting. Of course, his camp has said everything is okay, but this is one of the toughest events in track and field, and the field is loaded. So we will learn a lot as to the readiness of LaShawn Merritt to defend his Olympic crown.
So he's injured, but his camp is saying he's 100%. Right then and there's something not right, and as far as I'm concerned, he should have bailed out. But let's keep going and see what else happens.
That strain happened on July 20th. So it has not been a whole lot of time, Tom, to recover. But he has said that the treatment has worked, and he feels very confident that he will be able to defend.
In your running experience, how long does it take to fully recover?
A little bit more than 2 weeks, depending on the severity of the strain.
So they're saying he's 100%, and he feels confident. I'm still not sold, but you know what? Especially on the biggest stage of them all, when you have the most elite runners out there, you have to really know that your body is ready for this. But let's see how the race goes.
So LaShawn Merritt on his way here, lane 3, the reigning Olympic champion. And into that first turn, LaShawn Merritt is already struggling.
He looks like he's really gimpy, Tom. I don't see how. Nope, he's pulling up. The Olympic champion, the defending Olympic champion, has just pulled out. So there will be a new Olympic champion in 2012.
So the hamstring was not healed, and LaShawn Merritt is out of the race. Meanwhile, it is Lalonde Gordon of Trinidad and Tobago, and moving out Stephen Solomon of Australia, who will win it. With Gordon in second. But the big news is LaShawn Merritt, who appeared to be off to a decent start at first, and then, as Otto pointed out, started limping and had to drop out down the back straightaway.
Olympics come around only every 4 years. You tasted the ultimate by winning gold, and now you're out. Can you hang around for another 4 for Rio?
Oh, definitely, for sure. You know, I've been running great this season. Right now, I'll just go rest. You know, I feel like my hamstring needs to rest. I'll rest it and get ready for World Champs next year. I've had an undefeated season, a great season. I just get ready to do it again next year.
And quickly, as of now, you think your opportunities in the 4x4 relay are over?
Probably. I think I'll just rest.
All right, thanks.
You smug son of a bitch. Let me tell you something, all right? You knew you weren't ready. You just said in your interview, what'd you say? I just need the rest. It needed the rest. You took an opportunity away from someone else. Now, look, I understand competitive nature. I understand that you think you can do it all, but you have to be honest with yourself. You took opportunities away from people that day. You really did. There could have been someone else there who could have run better. Because you didn't finish, you quit, all right? Who could have run better. You could at least, even if it did hurt, you could have still tried and last in the finish line. At least finish the race. Have some type of heart. Have some type of, how can I put this, integrity, all right? But you quit and walked off. That's what you did, all right? And then to say that, you can still do this. I'm sure you can still do this for years to come later. But you knew you weren't 100%. You knew you weren't healthy, and yet you still took the opportunity. I don't understand this, all right? And yet I'm supposed to feel bad for you? I don't think so. I don't think so. There could have been someone else taking that run. There could have been someone else who just wanted the opportunity just to be there, all right? And that's what you did selfishly. That's what you did. That's wrong of you. And that's not all, because I'm going to talk about more wrong about NBC. Now, understand, guys, NBC has killed this Olympics. I hope they don't get it next time. I really hope they don't. I want to say once again, shout out to London, because your closing ceremony was great. However, as usual, NBC doesn't show all the closing ceremony for us. So, of course, a lot of people were mad. All right, now I also want to say that the way they did things, we talked about this before about Ryan Seacrest and Bob Costas. No one cares about them. No one cares. They care about the athletes. But the Olympics, for some reason, these athletes, there's been a lot of disqualifications. There's people been thrown out because they've been tied to Nazis. We've seen athletes who are in there say racist things on their Twitter. Was it one athlete just not too long ago was stripped of their medal? Like, there's so many problems that is going on in these Olympics. I don't understand. NBC has done nothing to show you the great sports what's going, and that's what's sad. None of these sports are going to get picked up. You going to tell me after the Olympics I'm no longer going to see women's handball? Are you going to tell me I'm not going to see water polo anymore? Are you going to tell me I'm not going to see kayaking, horseback riding? Did anyone see a couple days ago when that guy from Japan was trying to control his horse, and that horse threw him off backwards and the horse landed on him? Seriously, we're not going to see these things. We will not see these things because these sports, for some reason, do not make a healthy transition over to regular sports. We still have our basketball, baseball, football, hockey, and to a lesser extent, FCers, football, soccer. But that's it. We're not going to see these other sports for a very long time. They don't play volleyball here. They don't play it on TV. You know what I mean? For NBC Sports and ESPN, the leader in sports, they don't show these things. So now you're going to tell me that I won't be able to see judo competitions now and taekwondo competitions, which they showed once. I've seen each match once in the Olympics. Once. You've got to be kidding me. And you guys are like, yeah, it's really sloppy. Yes, because they're playing under Olympic rules, but we're not going to keep seeing that. And this is why many people want to see MMA. And I understand a lot of people will say, but the brutality of MMA will be compromised and things of that nature. MMA was never about brutality. You do understand that, right? It's about the art. And if you can tell me you can't adjust yourself to that art, it's a thing in martial arts called discipline. If you can't do that, there's a problem. If these people are going to do this, if you want to put MMA in Olympics, what you can do is you can have the headgear or whatever, but you have point systems. Seriously, you can take away certain things because martial artists learn. That's what they do. They're disciplined. They're programmed for this, man. So they hear this, the brutality and the blood and everything will be gone. Whatever, man. All right, it's obvious that's what you're in it for. You don't give a damn about the actual fights, the technical aspects. All right, you just want to see guys get their heads knocked off. That's pathetic that anybody who's covering MMA would think that. It's garbage. Yeah, it's really disrespectful. But NBC, that's not all you've done because you haven't shown so many sports. But then you start getting countries wrong. You gotta be kidding me, NBC. Like, it doesn't get any worse than that. And the thing is, time and time again, I gotta talk about this. Usain Bolt. You know what I'm saying Usain Bolt? Because it's not Usain Bolt. And they keep saying Usain Bolt. No, it's Usain Bolt, all right? The guy can't be stopped. It can't, like, someone really needs to Nancy Kerrigan him at this point in order to have a chance. You have to be kidding me. There's no reason that guy should be that fast. And to see now what he's saying about Carl Lewis, it is sad that Carl Lewis would think that everyone is on something. It's very sad. Jamaica has shown that this is something that they do, all right? And I want to give a shout out to, and I want to put it like this, all the women in the Olympics. Do you understand that the women held this Olympics down? Outside of swimming with men, nothing, or the U.S. basketball team, which nobody cares about, all right, because it was an afterthought. The women have done everything. Gymnastics, track and the women track and field were better than the men in track and field. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, the women did so much this year, and I'm talking from diving to everything. They look great. All of them did, all right? They showed a lot of heart. Like soccer, I mean, it didn't matter. Every sport they showed women, they played their hearts out. It wasn't like that for everything with men. It wasn't, all right? I'm just being honest here. It really wasn't. But the women did their thing. And I want to give them credit because, like I said, if it wasn't for them, this Olympics, it would have been a snooze fest. I wouldn't have watched a lot of it because it was up for the women. The women did it all right? The men did their parts. And I want to put it like this. U.S. basketball team, I got to talk about this. I have to. Did anybody see after Team USA won, all right? They only won by 7, all right, against Spain. But when they won, did you see Russell Westbrook? Did you see when they gave him the medal? He's like, what's this? It's so light. What's this? He obviously thought that the gold medal would be 100% gold, which we all know hasn't been in a number of years, about, 30 years or so, hasn't been 100% gold, all right? I showed you before, you guys, on Twitter. It only costs $375 to make a gold medal. That's right, because it's made up of other things as well. So he's upset. How do you win a gold medal for your country and become upset once you get on the podium? This makes no sense. And he's turning to, Darren Williams? He's like, do you feel this? This is garbage. And you're like, you have to be kidding me. This is not about just you and your gold medal. This is about you representing the country and winning overall. This is what I mean about these NBA players. This is exactly what I mean. They've become spoiled. I'm so sick and tired of it, and they're acting like cowards at this point. And I put it like this, and for those, I want to talk about cowards a little bit more, all right? I know a lot of guys say, well, Vint, you never cover golf. You already know how I feel about golf. But check this out. This is the definition of a coward right here. Check out what happens here with a fan and a golfer.
Slow start, but I knew that I knew always something to spice matters up. Yeah, enjoy the gel cell, pal.
Oh, so now you got jokes. Let me get this straight, funny man. Let's get something straight here, all right? Why didn't you say anything to him when he jumped in front of you, huh? And he was celebrating in front of you, taking your shine. Why didn't you say anything then? Why didn't you try to move him out the way? You let him act up in front of you. You waited to say something until after they had scored him away. Then you want to say something. All right, that's coward. That's very coward. You know what, guys? I'm done for the day. I'll talk to y'all later. Yeah, golfers, you need to step your game up if you won't act that way. I'll talk to y'all then. I'm out.